Okay, so you take a 4-year-old and you do this. You count out 5 candies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You need a 4-year-old because they can count. And they understand that 5 is more than 4. It's less than 6. You count it out, right? And then you count out 5 more candies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You show them that like this. And you say, which row do you want? And they reliably, and you've counted, they know there's 5 here, they know there's 5 here, but they confidently pick this row. And here's the thing, all the kids do it. And that mistake is related to a whole bunch of other kinds of mistakes they're making. They're not making just a single error. Look, this is what made Piaget a great scientist, why he's a pivotal figure in trying to understand development. And think about Aristotle and development. See, there had been lots of IQ testing way before Piaget. People have been testing kids' IQ for a while. And they had been throwing away the errors as garbage, because what you paid attention to was what the kid got right. Yeah, success and Protestant work ethic, yeah. Piaget had this insight, but wait. What if there's a pattern in the errors? If the errors are systematic and not random, then that would mean that there are constraints, remember constraints? There are constraints operating in the child's cognition. And maybe we could understand and think about Aristotle again and biology, because Piaget was, guess what? A biologist. Maybe we could understand development in terms of how those constraints are shifting and how they're shaping the kid's sensory motor interaction with the world. And what he found was, in fact, that the errors are systematic. All of the kids are making this kind of error, and they're making a whole bunch of related errors. There's a whole system of errors. And so that points to some underlying set of constraints. Now, what's going on? What's going on here? Why is the kid picking the lower row? Because it takes up more space. Think about everything we've talked about here. This variable is super salient to them. Their salience landscape is only picking up on that. Now, you, I hope, don't fall prey to this, because you're also picking up on another variable at the same time. You also make salient that the extra space is non-candy space, and therefore is what? Not relevant. But the kid doesn't pick up on that. Their salience landscape is not sizing that up. And so they don't have the same affordance as you. Now notice this. You see through this illusion because your salience landscape has been trained to pay attention to these multiple variables at the same time. The way you size things up, integrate them in attention, means you don't fall prey to this. Part of the way in which you become wiser than the child, you don't fall prey to self-deceptive illusion, is because you've trained your salience landscape to zero in on the relative information in the relevant way. Now, think about this. Remember we talked about salience and how when things are super salient to you, that triggers bullshitting and self-deception. If I could change my salience landscape, I don't fall prey to this. I don't fall prey to the illusion. And I won't act foolishly. Now, what I need you to understand is, here's a whole bunch of these errors that the kid is making. They form a system. And they all have to do with the fact that the salience landscape has not been sufficiently cultivated. So the kid might have an insight here, but it doesn't really matter because they're still going to be blocked in this problem and this problem and this problem. They're still going to be locked into a particular stage of development. But what if, and this is an idea that working out in conjunction with Jun-Sung Kim, what if you didn't have a single insight, What if you had a systematic insight, an insight that changed the whole system? It wasn't an insight in your consciousness. It was an insight of your consciousness in which you're changing your salience landscaping as opposed to just changing how you're framing a particular problem. That's what the child does when it develops. It actually changes its salience landscaping so that this whole system of errors falls away and it starts to see through an illusion and into reality. Here's the thing you need to now think. You've heard me say it. You have trained your salience landscape so that you do not fall prey to the systematic illusions of the 4-year-old. Yes? Yes. But you know what? You're falling prey to a lot of systematic illusions you're not aware of. Because you can only become aware of them if you can transform your salience landscape, your presence landscape, and your depth landscape to get in at what is actually most relevant systematically. Not here and here. All of us can have an insight here and here, but what is it to have a systematic improvement in insight? That's to be wise. When you have salience systematically tracking presence in depth so that you can wisely zero in on the relevant information and make your life more meaningful, that's your significance landscape. It protects you from bullshitting. It allows you to see through illusion and into reality, and it affords you having things more present to you. It would afford you to have a more comprehensive, flowing relationship with reality.